Proved her World Championship performance in the individual by, what, 23 places, and shot respectably. 18 out of 20. Had a good pro record last year, to be honest. 91% throughout the whole season. That's absolutely solid. 75 for the stand. If she can improve that a couple of percentage points, she's going to find herself rocketing up the order. Tyrrell Eckhoff, don't mention yesterday. She missed 1, 1, 3 and 2. 7 misses in all. 7 minutes added to her time. And it doesn't matter how hard Eckhoff skis, she's not going to make up that sort of deficit. Down in 67th position. And so if she does worse today, I will be totally surprised. And, you know, she's capable of winning a sprint.
She really is, and I hope she has put the bad emotion, the bad memories of yesterday well behind her, because she has been shooting well.
Yeah, and I hope she's put the memories of the World Championship sprint behind her. She missed 6 on that occasion out of 10 shots. So it's either brilliant or disastrous for Eckhoff as we watch Johanna Schottheim of Sweden exiting 0-0-0-0. Beautiful clean sheet for her at the start of the season and a podium finish for the first time. So Sweden on a high, and added to that, they had Öberg 4, Persson 5, Öberg 7, and then Mona Brorsson down in 11. Best day the Swedish women have ever had in World Cup biathlon.
Well, Vitozzi, for the good days, some have to have bad days, and Vitozzi, first time in, only hitting 1 target out of 5. Put her down in 84th, she missed a further 2. But I hope and I feel she came back strong yesterday, and I think we'll see a much improved performance from her today.
Germany had Denise Herrmann in 2nd place yesterday. Preutz was down in 18. Preutz, really class athlete, 6th in the overall World Cup standings last year, and pretty solid in both prone and stand.
Big moment, wasn't it, for Preutz? For Hintz, of course, in the World Championships, taking that silver medal in yesterday's race, the individual race.
Yeah, but Preutz's performances in the Worlds were very good as well. Was that Hannah Öberg or Elvira Öberg? Just using some TheraBand to work on the smaller muscles in the shoulder, just to make sure they're nice and stable.
I think it was Hannah and the sisters, the Öberg sisters. Well, they only had a second separating them in terms of ski speed, so Elvira really has upped her game. With the fastest she's ever skied in World Cup was yesterday. I think bib 3, Eckhoff will be setting the fastest time until her teammate Reusland comes through, and maybe Tyrrell will keep the fastest time to this point today.
It's all about the shooting for Eckhoff today. Vera, she doesn't have problems in that department. The fastest in the range, and usually as accurate as anyone else. Welcome back to Kontiolahti. Tyrrell Eckhoff for Norway coming up towards the 1.8 kilometre mark. She set the fastest time at the last split, so there's no reason to think that she won't be quickest again, unless unless she's just decided to ease it up on this big climb to give herself a better chance of hitting the targets. And it seems that that might be exactly what she's done. Still a second ahead, but losing a little bit of time to Davidova over the last 800 meters.
I think this is Tyrell Eckhoff showing a good discipline. Looking at her times now, she's clearly, I think, taking it well within herself on this first lap. I thought maybe her time at 1.1 kilometers would last the day. Don't think so anymore. But she wants to get through that first visit into the range on a positive feeling, and that's maybe why she's appearing to hold back a little now into the range.
Shot time. Struggling a little with the fluency of the technique. Compare that to Eckhoff, whose skis were gliding away nicely despite the steepness of the gradient.
Only 3 times up this hill today. Well, there's a positive. It was 5 times yesterday. Incredible, the fitness and strength, pushing hard over the top and then very quickly, big tempo on the easier terrain. I love the way she just takes the tension out of the left hand. You don't want any muscular play around there. Should be falling comfortably through the center of your hand. Very surprised. I really thought she would knock all 5 down. The wind, you can see the flags. It's not a big issue.
Yeah, the eyes almost did a 360-degree roll. She was furious with herself there. And 2 penalty loops to ski in the early stages. She's pretty much out of contention. Claire Egan giving away some 14 seconds. Eckhoff the fastest time into the range by 1.5 seconds. Now
she looks so comfortable, doesn't she? The breathing rate is low. She just wants to get through this 5.
Little bit of breeze, and the wind has changed, Mike. Switching. Looks as though it switched from right to left to right.
Yes, I thought we may see an adjustment there as she got down into position, but yep, it's missing 4 o'clock on the edge there.
Well, just watch her reaction when she finishes this shoot. There'll be some words going out. There's one of the disadvantages of going early is you are the crash test dummy on the range, and there's no time for the coaches to get the information out there that you need to change the sights.
Oh, I feel for Tyrell Eckhoff. It wasn't great yesterday. It's a very bad start again today. Mentally, as she skis around the penalty loop, she will be, well, enjoying biathlon a lot less at the moment.
Wow, that's one of the best shoots we've seen. Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Oh, beautiful. The same wind as Tyrell Eckhoff had, and it was throwing the fall of the shots on Tyrell's case over to the right. Not the case for Schottheim.
Yeah, they would have gone through a 1 penny piece. Beautiful grouping as we watch Vitozzi. Someone else who struggled yesterday. This is better. Nice. Good work from Vitozzi, and she's come back just how Eckhoff wanted to. And have a look at the ski time. 7 seconds inside Schottheim at the moment. She's still got a few meters to go. It's going to be tight. I think the advantage probably still to the Swede, but only by 3 or 4 seconds.
So happy for Vitozzi. She's had a tough journey, leading all the way to the last race. What was it, 2 years ago in the World Cup overall? And it really affected her coming into last year. She didn't perform well at all and lost the confidence in terms of shooting. Preuß surprised there, missing 1.
It's 28 now, comes from Schleswig.
Well, that was an edge shot at 1 o'clock. That was high at 11 o'clock. Looked fairly central. Dead center. One mistake.
She shot a good 19 out of 20 to win the silver in the World Championship individual. Julie Simon missed 3 in the first shoot in the World Championships in the sprint. Is she going to do the same again?
At least she looked up after the second shot to check where the wind was coming from. She maybe shaded off, aimed off a little, got the last 2.
Yeah, the wind is all over the place, Mike. It's difficult to see the flags in lanes 1 to 5, but as you mentioned during the men's race, that, you know, the structures around the range create these rotors in the wind, which makes it so difficult to read.
Especially, I think it is one, if not the most difficult range. Antholz can be difficult as well with the changeable wind there. And if anyone can master it, Jima can. She adjusted accordingly, but it's still one error.
Away goes the World Cup leader and the World Cup defending champion, Dorothea Viera, getting her season off the perfect start yesterday. Lisa Theresa Hauser downs 5 and is going to take the lead ahead of Schottheim. That's a really encouraging start for Hauser. And after 38th yesterday, having been in a very strong position at the halfway mark, she missed 4 of the last 10, dropped out of contention for the top 10. But that's a much, much better start.
It is. One aspect from Lisa Theresa Hauser that I looked at last night, her ski speed is as good as it has ever been, and that's first race of the season. A lot more to give, I think.
Heike, who's played the 4th member of the Swiss team relay for many, many years behind the Gasparin sisters. Oh, that's a poor start. We've seen that a number of times. Don't think she managed to shoot clear in a sprint at any stage last season.
No, shooting has never been her strength. Heike, her ski speed has been her strength, but she didn't show us that yesterday. Well off her normal pace on the skis.
90% hit rate yesterday for Gasparin. 100% start so far in the sprint. That's a good effort. 15 seconds or so will be the margin by the time she exits the stadium. Hauser remains the #1 at the moment. Schottheim is 2nd, Vitozzi of Italy 3rd. 7 seconds separating the top 3, and Aita Gasparin 17.5 behind.
Sorry, Patrick, only 11 athletes having left the range, and the lady who won 3 of these sprint races last year, Eckhoff, she's last.
Roisland, 4 seconds given away to Eckhoff in the early stages, Mike, pre-range.
Yes, I'm surprised at that, and Eckhoff still holds the fastest time at both of the early split times. I'm surprised at that. I thought Roisland should have surpassed that maybe by a couple of seconds, but no. But she does go into the lead by hitting 5.
Now, Innerhofer with a chance to make it 2 Austrians in the top 3. Don't think I've ever said that in the years of commentating biathlon, certainly not in the women's races. And that would be excellent news for them.
And again, last night, looking at the results, the Austrian team, women's team, have taken a giant leap forward in terms of all of their ski speed. And traditionally, Hauser shoots well. Innerhofer has good days, but it has equally some really horrible days on the range. Today, so far, so good.
Amanda Lightfoot racing for Great Britain again this season. Disappointing start yesterday with 5 misses.
Yes, it was, and she will clearly have been gutted last night, but she's had a good summer. She showed good racing in Idre with the Swedish team, and I think we'll see much better results from Amanda as the season goes on. Well, Kuklina opting for the fast shoot if you're going to miss fast when the day is difficult. But most would say, well, I'll take it easy and try and make them count, try and control it.
Now, Tandrevold, the fastest on the tracks for the first lap. Will she pay a price? Very central. And again. Oh, drops it low left. What a shame. That was a really good shoot up until that final shot. And she would have had certainly a top 3 position coming out. And as it is, penalty loop to ski. And she's going to be some 25 to 30 seconds off the pace of the leaders. Now, look at this ski speed. Herman has come through. She's surprisingly 3 seconds down on Tandrevold coming in. That tells you how fast Tandrevold was skiing. But Herman's in a very good position should she shoot clear. And Mike, you were pretty impressed with her shooting yesterday.
Oh, I thought it was incredible. Honestly, she's only 4 years old in biathlon terms. 4 racing seasons behind her, and in biathlon terms you really need a depth, 10 years of as a junior experiencing how difficult this is. She seems to have mastered the shooting.
Schottheim has become the 2nd athlete to clear 10 out of 10. Claire Egan of USA has done it as well. Great start to the season for Egan. She could be getting herself another top 20 result today. That's
Herman
good from
does
Herman.
it again. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely in control, and I think skiing well within herself on the tracks.
Out goes Herman, 7.2 off the pace. So the standings after one shoot, we have Roysland ahead of Innerhofer and Hauser, with Schottheim and Herman in 4 and 5. After 2 shoots, Schottheim of Sweden leads ahead of Claire Egan of the United States, and Lisa Vitozzi slightly off the pace, but a much better shoot than yesterday. It couldn't have got much worse, to be honest. But 10 out of 10 today, that will boost Vitozzi's spirits, and hopefully we'll see her challenge for victories later on in the season.
Well, we often talk about coming back from a terrible day. Vitozzi's start was awful. 1 hit from 5 first targets, tried to put them down yesterday. I'm so happy for her to get rid of that bad day. Instantly, she's done just that. Not easy to do. It's in the back of your mind. Is it me? Have I lost my confidence? Have I lost the hold on the rifle? She hasn't.
Vera looked imperious yesterday with her 20 out of 20. Not the fastest on the tracks, but fast enough.
Couple of changes to the sights there. She's taken 3 clicks to the right, therefore moving 10 millimeters to follow the shot. To the right, it's working.
Well, that's strange. It sounded like a hit. I don't know whether we were listening to Vanessa Hintz's shot, but a rare miss from Vera has opened the door up to other athletes. Hintz going well. Herman, Mike, 7 seconds down on the leaders despite shooting clear. I wonder whether she is suffering a little bit of fatigue, because you'll remember she put in an incredible final lap yesterday to get within 0.8 of a second of the leader.
Yeah, she really did. It was the fastest lap by quite a margin. She did 7 minutes 33 lap. The second fastest was Roysland, 7:38, and then Eckhoff, 7:44. So an incredible final lap from Herman. Yes, she certainly did look a little tired today.
Well, that's a shame for Hauser. 1 miss plus a slight delay for mechanical issues, and she may well just get the lead. It's going to be tight, but I think that could be the opportunity for a win gone. In fact, she won't get the lead because she's got to spend at least 25 seconds on the penalty loop.
Just down the track, Patrick, Elvira Uberg and her sister, her older sister, Hannah Uberg, they're on the track and they're setting the fastest 2 ski times. Early on, Hannah actually has the fastest at 1.1 by some 2 seconds ahead of her sister, and then 4 seconds ahead of Eckhoff.
Now, is that a fitness issue or is it a ski issue? There may be the Swedes have cracked the ski conditions here as we watch Breza-Boucher come in for her first shoot.
Breza, last year came 83rd in the first race of the season, and then the second day, or a day off in between, but then she won the individual up in Östersund. So she is a comeback girl. On a bad day, she just bounces back.
Roysland in for her second shoot, leading the way still after the first shoot. Roysland, down it goes. We could be looking at yet another Norwegian victory. Roysland is going to set a stiff target with that shooting and some excellent skiing. Breza-Boucher losing 5, 6, 7 seconds. It's a slow shoot.
Yeah, Justine, she shot 0.230 yesterday. Not great. She made sure those first 5 went down.
Now, can the Swedes repeat their success from the individual? Mike, I mentioned the ski speed. I wonder whether that played a part in their success yesterday in the individual. You don't get a whole team in the top 10 positions without having some pretty good planks on your feet.
Yes, they've spent a lot of money, as teams with money do, to get the best possible skis, the best possible glide. And of course, teams taking with them base structure machines where they can adjust them on a daily basis, cut a little bit of the base off or put a new imprint on the base. And many teams have that, but I think the Swedish skis on a regular basis are up there with the best. Oh, Hannah Öberg, her pace on the track is exceptional. She's got 9, nearly 10 seconds on Herman, who's in 3rd place at 1.8 kilometers.
Now, when you were wearing glasses racing, I don't know if you did, Mike, I don't remember it on many occasions, but how long before you come in to shoot do you like to lift the glasses to let the eyes adjust?
Yeah, it's a real issue, and you know, they say if you're on a computer late at night, it takes a full 20 minutes for your eyes to cool, to readjust to darkness, if you like. But yes, at least 20 seconds for me coming in to shoot when I eventually wore glasses.
First Schottheim across the line, Egan in second, Davidova now 3, but that's a big gap between first and second, and Schottheim has kept the Swedish success going. Hannah Öberg 0, and a lead, certainly a lead. Is it 5? Is it 10? It's closer to 15 seconds. Wow, look at that, 17.5, and Hannah Öberg, who stunned us all at the Olympics in Pyeongchang, has started in tremendous form. As you picked out, Mike, the fastest time on the tracks coming in to shoot, followed by her sister 1 second behind, but then a gap of some 8 seconds back to Tandra Volden Eckhoff. So they are absolutely flying.
And Stina Nilsson, the cross-country skier, she thought she might quite easily slot into the Swedish team, but no, the Öberg sisters are actually skiing up with her and often faster than her in training races, that is. So pushing it, it'll be difficult for a cross-country skier initially. It's so different skiing with the rifle on your back. You haven't got the same tempo in through the upper body, and of course it weighs nearly 4 kilograms. You can see the adjuster on the sides there, and as you rotate that little circle there, it clicks, and each click is 3 millimeters, 2.5, 3 millimeters. Middle shot missed from Agnès Chevalier-Boucher. Married this summer. Breza was as well, but incredibly married. I'm not sure. It feels like it could well be brothers. They both have the same second part now of their surname. Boucher.
There you see the standings after the first shoot. Öberg with that very, very impressive run. Should she hit 5 in the stand, she's going to be in a good position to overhaul Roysland, who is flying. And after the second shoot, we have a minute separating the top 9 athletes. That's a big margin for a race like this, and that margin may grow when Hannah Öberg comes through. Elvira Öberg started number 31, and just looking to see, she missed one, still up in the top 15 positions. Actually, she's lying in 10th at the moment, 31.9 behind. Roysland going through 6.8, and I guess they're getting the message out there that don't worry about the people in front of you. You've got all them, but worry about Hannah Öberg because she has taken some 17 seconds off you on that first lap. Vera has to go clear if she wants a respectable result.
This Vera's ski time yesterday, only 17th fastest track time, but she makes up so much time with this rapid fire shooting.
That's how you do it.
And most often it's accurate, fast shooting.
But Mike, she still wouldn't have matched Roysland had she hit all 5 in the pros. So there is work to do on the tracks. Takizaki misses the last shot.
Yes, I think Vera, maybe the heavy training coming in, or in the months before the World Cup, backing off obviously a few days prior to this race, but it looks a little sluggish. Not bad when you can win a race if you're not on your best ski form. She did just that yesterday. Right, Roysland, she got the information. She really has picked the pace up over the last kilometre.
Starting to look a little bit tight in the shoulders, which is understandable at this stage. Just needs to keep that tempo, keep the skis gliding, point them straight towards the finish line. She's looking for a time, she's going to be well under the 21:30 mark, and she takes the lead away from Schottheim, so Norway back in charge with 21:25, but it could well be Sweden who come through to win this one if Hannah Öberg can clear 5 in the stand. Great effort from Roysland, though.
Just thinking, Patrick, most of the big names, Pigrushny coming in now, most of the big names have been through prone shooting. Lynn Persson still to come through. She's bib number 51, skiing fantastically well, and so often shooting, hitting 100% of the targets. So the wind here in Kontiolahti, it really is testing them again today. Breza taking her time, Breza Boucher taking her time, but it hasn't paid off. So Mona Brorsen, you can see there just coming in. Just trying to get a feel for her time on the track. It's good, and she often shoots very well. So Elvira Öberg coming in. And her big sister will be in just around a minute 30 time.
Maybe a little bit quicker than that. Don't forget that Elvira had a penalty loop to pay after the first shoot. So we may well see both Öberg sisters on the range at the same time.
Well, not a great day. Elvira Öberg as a junior, and then through the Junior World Championships, the IBU Cup, she often knocked all the targets down, missing 3 out of 10 today.
So here is Hanna Öberg, and this is her first chance to get a victory this season.
Four big breaths before the first shot, one breath in between the rest.
It's 11 years since a Swedish woman won a World Cup sprint event, and it may well be changing today. That was Ekholm who did it back in February 2011. But Hanna Öberg has cleared 10. She produced a sensationally quick first lap, and I don't think that second lap was any slower. A 17-second margin coming in, and she's going to go out with at least 20 seconds to play with.
What a great day, another great day.
21.9. Now, looking down the start list, Mike, can you see anyone else who's going to challenge that sort of a time?
Lynn Persson is the only one for me. Should be in very soon for her prone shooting. Her ski time was good yesterday, but maybe not quite to challenge that impeccable performance.
That was solid. We've seen it on many occasions. Occasionally a meltdown when the pressure is at its worst. But I think she will have boosted her own confidence with that performance. Here is Lynn Persson. Quick, Mike. But in terms of Öberg over that first loop, just looking to see how far down, hasn't quite come up on the computer.
No, she's not as fast as she was yesterday in comparison to the rest and her teammates. But so often she manages to hit all the targets, not today either. So that's the threat gone from her teammate Lynn Persson.
Selina Kasparin's gone well into the range. Went clear, 22 seconds behind. But the very fact that Öberg has cleared all 5 in the stand, Mike, means that you've got to be level with her. In fact, you've got to be 5 to 10 seconds ahead of her coming out of the first shoot if you're going to stand a chance of challenging.
Very much so, and given today, Patrick, that only at the moment 7 athletes, was that now 8 maybe, having shot the perfect score, it really does reduce the chances of the later starters. The wind is picking up a little more at the moment. What a day for Sweden again. It's looking like fabulous biathlon, although at the finish is still Reuschland leading, Schottheim second for Sweden.
Dorothea Vera, a mistake in the prone, costing her chance, but even with that down, she would find herself some, what, 30 seconds off the pace set by Reuschland, which is going to be another 20 seconds at least slower than Öberg. So there's a lot of time to be gained by Dorothea Vera.
I thought she might have challenged Hauser, but no, she hasn't. Hauser shooting the same score.
I'm going to say there aren't that many individuals, which is where Vera is so good. Down into 6th place and take away the 25 seconds. That obviously puts her up to within roughly 40 seconds of the leaders, and that would have been good enough for 3rd place.
She'll be annoyed that she missed one. She knows they all know they can hit 20 on any given day, but doing it every day, it's difficult.
Mona Brosen at the back of this group. That's only 4.3 kilometers completed. Brosen was sitting in 2nd after the first shoot. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, the left leg, very high return, or return back up the hill on the 2nd bite through the left leg, but all athletes are different. It's very irritating when you catch the tip of the ski in the snow, in this deep snow, so lifting very high. It all takes energy. I think these colours are the colours to be in this season. It's the suit you want to wear as a team. They're doing very well again, the Swedes, today. especially this one, Hannah Öberg.
Well, let's see what Öberg can do over the closing stages. After the second shoot, she had a lead of 21.9 over Marta Reusland. And I think that leads, is it going to grow? Certainly hasn't diminished by much if it has. And Öberg, just a steady pace into the finish, is going to see her take a convincing lead from 21 to 22.7. Still skiing faster than Reusland. And I suspect the Swedes have some fantastic skis on their feet. Take nothing away from their performances, but so many of them are going well that you have to feel there's something else in the team apart from the fact that they've been training well.
It was so good. Yeah, Breza there missing one, third place at the moment. It's a good result, and she took such a long time on the range. That camera shot, Patrick, for the back, it was really good to see the the Öberg sisters coming up the steep climb together. Very similar technique, very similar size and shape, and two very good biathletes.
Russen with a chance to go into the top two. She's not going to catch Öberg. Reusland, I think, is safe, but Kotheim certainly under threat. Not anymore.
As an athlete, as a biathlete, you need good psychology. Her psychology is excellent. She's had some bad experiences at the World Championships in Östersund. When she was leading, she missed some targets. Many thought it would break her. She said, hey, there's more important things in life. It could have been, it wasn't. I'll try and do it again. She has a really positive attitude. So we have a new leader.
We have a new leader. 23.9 the margin for Hannah Öberg. Russen with a penalty paid, back out on the tracks. One more lap to go of the 2.5, and now the margin at 46.7. So she would have been, at the very most, she would have been 20 seconds behind had she hit all the targets. That would have put her into second place, and that would have put four Swedes in the top 5. Yesterday was good. Looks as though today could be even better.
It is. I think Brorsen's going to pull that gap to her teammate Kotheim. It's 4 seconds at the moment. I think she'll close that gap. I think we'll see Brorsen into third place by the end of her race.
Now, Selena Gasparin going very nicely indeed into the first shoot. Coming into the range for the second shoot. She's dropped down the order a little bit. Down in 11th place. And the red figure just above that strap line, the 38.4, tells you how far behind she was coming in to the second shoot. And with another miss, she's going to be at least a minute adrift of the race leaders. But that's still good enough for a top 10. Olimbakova from Belarus skis a little bit like Daria Demiracheva.
Shake of the head, disappointed in her finish. I think she lost a lot of time there just in the last 1.5. That's the big climb in the middle of that 1.5.
What about the German performances? Denise Herrmann unable to produce the goods for the second day in a row. Hammerschmidt is the best on the current result board, with Preutz down in 25, Hintz down in 26, Herrmann down in 36. How things have changed. Just seen Amanda Lightfoot. She's gone through with only 2 misses today, sitting down in 48th position, just ahead of Susan Dunkley of the United States, who's yet to get into top gear. Hammerschmidt across the line, 58.7 the margin, and that's good enough for 5th place. I'll tell you what, Mike, Hannah Öberg would be wishing there was a pursuit following this sprint.
She certainly would. I think that's another wonderful performance from Hammerschmidt. She was 2nd German yesterday. She's 1st German today, and I think likely to stay there. Kreutz is the 2nd German at the moment in 12th place. And Hermann, you said it, she looked very tired. She really did look tired, and we've seen her in the past missing 3 targets and finishing in the top 5. Today she's down outside the 20th position at the finish. Hermann 22nd, 151 behind.
I think Notten, the only Norwegian to have hit all the targets. And on this sort of pace, I think she's going to go into the top 5 or 6. Even better, goes into 3rd, 37.2 behind. Both shoots completed. And if she can keep the margin at 37.2, she will stay 3rd. Shot time at the moment at 44, so a lot to fight for there. A podium place.
Well, that's such a pity to hit your first 7, 8 targets. Leah Einflatte, Slovenian. Well, so hopefully she'll learn from that. What was going through my mind, change that the next time. Hopefully she can get all 10 sometime soon.
Rawson trying to challenge her teammate Hjortheim. The last split we had, Brorson was only 5 seconds down. Still got a little way to go before the clock will stop. It's going to be a red light.
I did say I thought that she would close the gap on her teammate. It's unlikely now. She had, what, 6 seconds. She had to push it early.
Well, she's closed 2 seconds, Mike.
2 seconds. She's still got some work to do.
Pegdrushna looking really solid on the skis this year.
Yes, you can feel the energy there, the fabulous balance. Arms, you could argue, more punch through the arms. Tirolekov has really great arm movement. Huge force through the poles to propel you forward.
Yeah, it's a shame about the index finger for Tirolekov. Things, no coordination between the eye and the index finger at the moment.
Didn't happen again today, yeah. 28th position at the finish, Tirolekov at the moment. That's likely to drop down as the race continues. Has Brorson done enough? She had to really punch the pace on this, the flat section.
She had, what, 3 seconds to make up in the last 800 meters. I'm not sure she's done enough. She's going down into 4th position. Alimbakava, I'm pretty sure, is being moved down into 5th. Yes, that's the way it's gone. So Sweden now with 3 in the top 4, having had, what, 4 in the top 7 yesterday. But crucially, they have the win at the moment. Hannah Öberg looks unsurpassable. A time of 21:01 with the perfect shooting score. Hannah Öberg, of course, Olympic gold medalist from Pyeongchang, is showing us that she is here to stay. Really, really solid performance. Notten of Norway, last we saw, she was in 3rd, so Hjortheim and Brorson could be pushed down 1. I think Notten's done well over the last couple of meters, Mike. She's safe. She's into 3rd, behind Roisland. So now we have 2 Norwegians on the podium, but it's Hannah Öberg of Sweden who leads.
Look at the flags there in the top 5 positions. They're all, well, 3 Sweden, 2 Norwegian. Very happy for Tuli Tomengas. That's 10 out of 10. Maybe, just maybe, she could be challenging for a podium. She's got to really move, still working her way up through the prone part of the range. Lanes 15 to 1, where you adopt the prone shooting. A little bit too far detached. Her ski speed isn't sadly quite that good to, I don't think, to make the podium from this point.
Mike, I know Norway and Sweden have always been up there. Norway, the dominant nation in all Nordic and biathlon events over the last few years. But I'm just wondering whether the COVID effect, the Scandinavian countries have had more space and a more normalized life in terms of the training they've been able to do.
They're 2 huge countries, aren't they? Only, what, 5-6 million in Norway, and where are we? 9-11 million actually in Sweden. And so much space. Maybe that is an issue. Plenty of space to not feel clamped in. And, well, everybody seems to have a little cabin in the woods somewhere if you're Scandinavian. Well, Chevalier, this could turn the tables again. We have a French athlete now challenging for the top 3.
37 seconds separating the top 3. She's going to be there or thereabouts. 39 seconds separating the top 4 at this stage, and Chevalier into 6th position. Now she's only got to gain half a second to get ahead of Hjortheim. She's got to gain 3 seconds to get ahead of Tomingas, who's done really well for Estonia, and she's got a slightly harder task. 11 seconds to claim on Notten, but Notten did save something for the last loop, so that might be impossible. Lynn Persson into the finish, take away the 25 to 30 second penalty, and she was looking at a top 7 or 8. You see any changes in the top 10, Mike?
Well, we have the potential just on the leaving the range. Tomingas, I maybe played her down. I said she hasn't quite the ski speed. She's only to find 8 seconds. Don't think she will find that on Notten. She left the range in 4th position, Tomingas. And Chloe Chevalier, when she needs it, she can find it in terms of ski speed. And she's got 9 seconds to pull back for the podium.
And Chevalier starting number 64. She's yet to go through the 6.1 kilometer stage.
I can't see many of the later starters who may challenge for the top 5 positions. And nobody today is going to beat there Öberg, as we saw her come in slow motion. .47, leaving the range at 39.7. So sadly, it's not going the way she wants it to.
It's got a PB of 14th, so that might tumble today as we watch Chloe Chevalier at the back of this group. There she is, just rounding the corner. And Roysland on 21 is okay. Notten on 37. Now, the difference between them coming out of the range was some 11 seconds.
It is a huge task to try and close that amount of time over only 2.5 kilometers. But she's having a real good go at it. Deceptive, this climb. Is another tiring one way down in the background there to the left of the picture. That's where you start this climb. Sucks the energy out of you.
Chevalier's gained 1 place, Mike, gone ahead of Tomingas, who's fading in the last section. So a good burst of speed, and she's got another 4 seconds to gain to go ahead of Hjortheim, and that will put her up into 4th position. Triuku Lovely shooting, absolutely superb. And add, what, 20 seconds to that, 55 seconds behind. She's going to be roughly around 9, 10, 11 when she comes out.
The positivity from those 5 going down. She really charged out there. Now on the downhill section, trying to get her hands through the straps of her poles. Back into action. .52.6 now. That's a tough journey for her. We knew it would be tough to try and close the gap, but it's still going the wrong way.
The athlete from Tallinn just struggling, put a lot of effort in that second loop to produce a very good time, and now is paying the price for that. It's better to leave it all out on the track. As I say, Chloe Chevalier still looking pretty lithe. I think she's taking advantage of the fact that she's quite a lot lighter than many of the athletes, and this steep climb, Mike, it pays to be a lightweight.
It does. Look at the camera shot way down the bottom. Must be, it's 24% incline coming up this section here, and it really is painful. The last few years, last good number of years, been taking the Masters team up here, and you kind of have to stop to get your breath back in training. Well, getting all the encouragement, you need to know what you have to do. It certainly picked her tempo up. The fight is, the brain is saying, get moving, close the gap down.
Tomingas looked very good as she came out of the range. She was in 4th position after the second shoot. She's not managed to hold on to that, but if she stays within a minute of the leaders, I think she'll be happy with her day's work. She goes 7 for now, maybe pushed down to 8 when we see Chevalier across the line. Chevalier starting number 64, a full minute behind Tomingas. Here she comes. 7.5, already slower than Hannah Öberg, who is the race winner here today for Sweden. Roisland on 23 is safe. Chevalier just dropping from 5 down to 6, going from 6.1 through to 6.8. But she's in an almighty battle with Mona Brorsson of Sweden, who's come in with that time 50 seconds off the leader. Rounds the corner to the right, then she'll see the finish. This is where she's got to press the turbos. She has to accelerate if she wants to stay top 5. 44 behind at the moment. Brorsson on 50. I think the Swede is going to survive, and Alimba Carver might survive as well in 6. So another position lost for Chevalier. She will finish ahead of Hammerschmidt, but only just. So still a couple of the top 10 positions may change. Kriuku is on the charge. Hannah Öberg can start the celebrations. She's produced a stunning time of 21:01. Welcome back to Kontiolahti. We're going to watch Kryuku of Belarus into the finish, looking for a top 10. Last time we saw her coming out of the range, she was in 11th position. She'd got herself into 10th by 6.1, and now coming up towards the 6.8 mark. Now, I should tell you that of the late starters, there are a couple of good results on the cards. We've got Blaszko, who has gone through, started 93. She's gone through the first shoot, and she is only 19 seconds off the lead, up in 4th position. So another clear shoot from her, and she might challenge for the podium. That would be the shock of the day were it to happen.
I love the early season racing, so many surprises, and the Estonian, for me, Tomengas, it's so good to see the smaller nations, smaller budget nations getting into the top 10. That's good news for biathlon. And another one, hopefully, holding the nerve on the final shoot, can place in the top 10.
There is Daria Blaszko.
And the Ukraine team at the World Championships here, of course, winning many medals. Shemarenko twins on the podium a couple of times. Pigrushny as well in the sprint race. Kryuko, of course, part of that gold medal winning team at the Olympics in Pyeongchang.
Just trying to work out whether she's got knee problems, Michael, whether that's the Belarus suit for this year.
Suits can create the impression of more muscle, or maybe highlight some. Most people do go in at the knees a little, don't they?
Yeah, I think she has surrounded herself by that physio tape. Need to see one of the other Belarus athletes just to check that. But great performance. Has she managed to stay top 15? Faded a bit in the closing stages, got into the top 10, but I think coming out of the range actually a bit too hard. And we've seen that on a number of occasions. You've got to control yourself, even if you shoot clear. But 14th place for Kryuku. She's 1:15 down, and one of, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 athletes in the top 15 who have shot the perfect score today. Once again, the women's shooting better than the men's. Is it to do with conditions, Mike, or is it to do with ability?
I'm going to say conditions. I think, in fairness, the latter part of this race, the wind has been a lot kinder. And brilliant job there from Anna Magnusson. Well, she could upset things as well for those who think they sit comfortable at the moment. She's not going to be so far off the pace. The split time just comes up in, what, 4 or 5 seconds time.
Yeah, but have a look at the track. You can plough through this sugar for one lap. By the end of the second lap, you're starting to fade, and nearly all the later starters are losing more time on the last lap than they've lost on the previous 2. That tells you something about how fatiguing these conditions are.
Just absorbs you. If you've ever had a run up sand dunes and soft moving sand, that's what this feels like. It absorbs a lot of your energy a lot of the time. You have to just have some track craft. Read where the track is the firmest. Sometimes you have to go the long way around.
Now, Blaszko can certainly upset the Scandinavian cart if she can produce not only a clear shoot, it's got to be a fast one as well. Puce from Latvia. This would be a very encouraging start. These are the difficult shots. The first one's down, and the second, 10 out of 10. And just showing what she can do. 3:18 behind. Work to do on the skis.
Great through the rifle. I love that cheeky little look back at, did I really get all 5 there? Delighted that she did. And the wind actually is still there. It's still flickering away from the left on the stand part of the range. Always wise on this range to shoot standing if you can, in lanes 24 down to 30. That's where it's most sheltered.
Kalkenberg for Norway. And another athlete to have gone clear. top 20 would be fantastic. Early part of her career. And at the moment, sitting in 15th. She needs a couple of Norwegian coaches out there to help her up the final stages of this climb. This is starting to look painful.
23-year-old, it's a good performance. As you say, you can feel the pain there. She's stretching to her limit, hanging on to by a thread there. Come on.
I think it's quite important to come over the top of that hill with something left in the tank, isn't it, Mike? Because I thought she accelerated pretty well. Whereas we've seen athletes climb it fast and then fade over the next 800 meters. Now Blaszko's chance has gone. That first shot and the second one wide. Well, I think we can safely say,
yeah,
just going to say, we won't see any changes in the order now, Mike. Blaszko was the last of the late starters to be anywhere near the leaders. And so Hannah Öberg can get the champagne out.
Well, they can relax, actually, isn't it? It's a good thing that through till Thursday, the next race, they can relax here in Joensuu, where most of the athletes are staying. Won't be able to go out much. Staying in their little units. Kalkenberg did well over there from the top of the big hill. She really was stretched there. Managed to keep a good pace through to the line. Great job for the 23-year-old. Dorothy Vera said yesterday, the last time up the killer hill, she said she was, she quoted, I quote, she said, I was seeing blue, my legs, couldn't feel my legs, just flooded with lactic acid, and survived to the line by 0.8 of a second to take the victory. So Sana Alari. Now this is good as well. Would be nice to see all 5 targets to go down. Pulse rate there, 172. That will drop quickly. Well, that's a real pity. And the pressure, the home team, there's always a tiny little bit more pressure. You know you get some press attention here. Normally you get the spectators. That's not the case, of course. But just self-pressure there, I think, for the 2 shots missed in standing. So Anna Magnusson. Looking very strong. A lot of rotation there. The upper body. Good stepping up the hill, trying to get some glide through the right side, the right leg, reaching so far up into this steep climb. Getting the information, so important. The coach is giving clear advice. Your brain can only take in so much when you're pushing this hard, and you need clear, positive statements. Absolutely no spectators getting in the way of the message just being passed over to you today.
Well, still a little wind fluttering, but not really enough to upset them in the standing position. Start number 100 belonging to Irina Krashinkina.
Well, I think that's a good move. Sometimes you miss one, you hit one, you miss the second. You need to just adjust something. No point in continuing. She did that, and it has paid off. The athletes all, yeah, the coaches clearly told them, get the last 3 lanes, 4 lanes there. 26 down to 30 are the better lanes for stand shooting. Because of that big advertising board there, it just shades you a little from the wind. Anna, as the last starter, will realise that she's being watched by many as she comes in for her stand, opting to go right down into lane 19, I believe that is. You can see her view down the range. The flag at 5 meters from the range and the one 20 meters back from the target, both showing right to left wind influence.
So Magnusson for Sweden. Sweden arguably the most successful team today, certainly the most successful. 1, 4 and 5, 3 in the top 5. Remember yesterday they had 4 in the top positions, 4 in the top 5, or 3 in the top 5 yesterday, 4 in the top 7. So 2 phenomenal days for Sweden. It looks as though they're here to stay. And of course they've got the winner here today with Hanna Öberg, who was the world champion in Östersund over the individual, the Olympic champion in Pyeongchang over the individual, and today she gets Sweden's first win in a sprint event, Sprint World Cup, since 2011. So that's a big turn up for the books, and she has a fantastic future, Mike. Certainly a contender for the overall this year. Many thought she was a contender last year, but she just didn't have the consistency. Is it going to be Öberg's year, or do you think Vera will be able to survive on the best shooting, but by far off the mark when it comes to the ski speed?
I don't think she can survive with the ski speed she has now, and there only one target missed today. Patrick will see it, of course, and Vera down in 21st position. So she needs to find some ski speed. She can get away with it in the individual with that fabulous shooting. There she is, 21st, but she can't get away with it over the shorter distance.
And we've got Roysland in second place. As we look at the last of the starters, your heart must sink when your team manager hands you the bib and says you're the last off. You know you're going to have the stadium to yourself. Roysland, another contender for the overall, Mike, picking up good points today, finishing second.
Yes, definitely, and I think Patrick Oberegger, the Italian coach for the Norwegian team, I think he'll be having a quiet chat, maybe not tonight, let them just recover tonight, but Tandrevold, of course Tyrrell Eckhoff, the shooting could be an awful lot better, so they may just talk strategy, what went wrong, what will we do next week to put that right, because they're skiing so well with good shooting that there are 3 or 4 Norwegians that can take the win on any given day. Stuic, such good shooting. Haven't got their result yesterday in front of me. Yes, I think it was 20, so that's 30 shots fired.
Hit 20 yesterday, finished in the top 14, yeah, so that's a really good start to the season.
Yeah, fabulous. And the ski speed is better, much better from the overall throughout the Austrian team. So I suppose the impression of what we can gain from this first couple of days racing, Patrick, without a doubt, Swedish team seems to be best improved by a margin. And the Norwegians at the moment a little off, but that's mainly to do with their shooting performances.
Blashko across the line for Ukraine, 2:08 off the pace, take maybe a minute away because of the shooting mistakes. That would have put her in a competitive position for a top 10, but still some way off the mark set by Hanna Öberg. Very, very high standards by the Swedish team today. 21:01 the winning time. Roysland of Norway, what's that, her 16th podium, and having hit 80% of the targets yesterday, she improved that by 20% to clear all 10 today. Remember, Roysland was 5th in the World Cup last year. I think she'll have her eye on the globe this year. She's certainly strong enough, fast enough, shoots well enough to do that. And then don't forget Norton of Norway, who's come in third position, her PB by a full 10 places on the podium for the first time in her career. And I think I'm right in saying that's the first time she's ever shot the perfect score in a World Cup race. So a massive, massive day for Norton. And it means we have two Norwegians on the podium here in Kontiolahti. But it's Hanna Öberg of Sweden who makes it her first win of the season. Well, there you see the results, and look how many of them have gone clear on the range. The men could certainly learn a trick or two. The secret to winning the sprint, to hit 10 out of 10. Well, that's all from Kontiolahti for today. Thanks for your company. We'll be back in action next week, and we stay in the north of Finland for those races as well. Performance of the day, Mike?
Yeah, I think we have to put that to Öberg once again. She was composed, she set a powerful ski time, managed to nail all targets. Excellent performance.
And held off all the other big shots. So we'll look forward to seeing her in action again next week. Some great racing, mixed bag of results. Johannes Tingesbo winning the men's race today, having been beaten into second place yesterday. He is back in yellow, and the tour continuing as it finished last year. Well, thanks for your company. Nordic Combined coming up next with David Goldstrom.